Have you ever sat in a doctor's office, flipping through a magazine, wondering if you're getting all the right checkups you should be? Maybe you've had your blood pressure taken, stepped on the scale, smiled politely while your doctor rushed through the visit, and left thinking, was that it? If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. As we get older, there's this quiet assumption that aches, fatigue, or forgetfulness are just part of aging. And while, yes, some things naturally change with time, not everything should be ignored or brushed off. Sometimes what feels normal might actually be your body waving a little red flag, trying to get your attention before something bigger develops. The truth is, after 65, your body needs a little extra attention in some very specific areas. And the good news? There are a handful of simple health tests that can catch serious issues early before they slow you down or limit your independence. These are the kinds of checkups that don't always happen automatically at a regular appointment. You often have to ask for them. But once you know what to ask for, you take back a bit of control over your health and future. In this video, we're going to walk through 5 essential health tests that everyone over 65 should know about. And I'm not just talking about the usual ones you've probably already had. One in particular is skipped by so many seniors, even though it could catch a life-changing condition when it's still completely manageable. Let's walk through them together, starting with something that might sound boring on the surface, but can be one of the most powerful tools for preventing heart attacks and strokes. Let's talk about blood pressure. Not just a quick reading at the pharmacy or the one your doctor takes while you're chatting, but a true, consistent tracking of how your heart is doing day in and day out. High blood pressure is often called the silent killer for a reason. It usually doesn't cause any symptoms until something goes seriously wrong. And here's what most people don't realize. Your risk of high blood pressure increases dramatically after 65. Even if it was perfectly normal at 60, things can change quickly. What's really powerful here is that blood pressure is one of the few things you can actually keep track of at home. If you've never used a home monitor before, it might feel intimidating at first, but it's incredibly simple. One reading in the morning, one at night, just for a few days. Write it down or keep it in your phone. That little habit could literally save your life. If the numbers are creeping up, your doctor can help adjust your plan before any real damage is done. Now, while we're on the topic of quiet issues that creep up over time, let's talk about something that often surprises people. Bone density. A lot of folks think that broken bones only happen when you fall badly. But the truth is, after 65, your bones can become fragile without you even realizing it. A small stumble that wouldn't have hurt you 20 years ago can suddenly lead to a fracture or even a long hospital stay. And the worst part? Most people don't feel any symptoms until something breaks. That's where a bone density scan comes in. It's quick, painless, and doesn't require needles or special prep. It's like an X-ray that tells you how strong your bones really are. Think of it as your bone report card. If it shows that your bones are thinning, even just a little, you can start making changes now. That might mean a tweak in your diet, some gentle strength exercises, or even medication if it's needed. But the sooner you know, the more you can do about it. And here's where things get really interesting. Because this next one? It's the one most people skip. Not because it's painful or expensive, but because many don't even realize they should be getting it. I'm talking about a simple cognitive screening. Now, before your mind jumps to the worst-case scenarios, let me explain what this really means. Cognitive screening doesn't mean someone's accusing you of losing your mind. It's just a gentle way to track how your memory, attention, and problem-solving skills are doing. Kind of like a brain checkup. You wouldn't skip a heart check or a blood test, right? Well, your brain deserves the same respect. Especially because small signs of change can show up years before any real diagnosis. And the earlier you catch those signs, the more power you have to slow things down, or even reverse certain issues with lifestyle changes. Some screenings are as simple as answering a few questions or doing a memory task in your doctor's office. Others are done on paper or even digitally now. They're not invasive, they don't take long, and they can offer real peace of mind. Think of it this way. If your brain were a car, wouldn't you want to know if the oil's low before the engine starts sputtering? Now that we've touched on your heart, your bones, and your brain, we're already starting to build a more complete picture of what your body truly needs after 65. These aren't just medical tests, they're tools. Tools that help you keep doing what you love, living independently, and staying ahead of problems before they get in your way. Before they get in your way. And that's really the key, isn't it? Staying ahead of things instead of waiting until they slow you down. The sooner we catch something, the easier it is to manage. That's especially true with the next test, which a lot of folks overlook simply because they feel fine or don't want to deal with the process. But this one could be the difference between catching something early or dealing with a major issue when it's too late. Let's talk about colorectal cancer screening. Now, I get it. Nobody likes to talk about this. It's uncomfortable, it sounds messy, and the word colonoscopy probably sends a little shiver down your spine. But hear me out for just a minute, because the reality is this. Colorectal cancer is the second leading cause of cancer death in older adults, but also one of the most preventable. You don't even necessarily need to jump into a full colonoscopy anymore. There are now simple, non-invasive stool tests you can do right at home. No prep drink, no hospital gown. You send in a sample and it checks for hidden blood or abnormal cells. If something looks off, then yes, your doctor might recommend further testing. But you've already taken the most important step. You checked. The thing is, symptoms of colorectal issues don't usually show up until the disease has progressed. By then, treatment becomes harder. But when it's caught early, survival rates are incredibly high. And sometimes all it takes is removing a small polyp before it turns into anything dangerous. Think of it like spotting a tiny crack in your sidewalk before it becomes a pothole. That's what screening does. Now, I want to pause here for a second, because I know these topics can feel overwhelming. Maybe you're already dealing with a few health concerns, or maybe you feel like you've made it this far and you're doing okay, so why poke around and look for more problems? But here's the thing. These tests aren't about looking for what's wrong. They're about making sure everything is still right. They give you the gift of confidence. And if something does come up, wouldn't you rather know now, when it's still manageable, than wait until it affects your everyday life? That brings me to another test that often gets forgotten because, on the surface, it seems so simple. But it has a huge impact on your quality of life, especially as you move through your 60s, 70s, and beyond. I'm talking about hearing tests. Now I know, you might be thinking, my hearing's not that bad. I just ask people to repeat themselves sometimes. Or, I don't want to deal with hearing aids. But let's think about this differently. Hearing loss doesn't just affect how loud things sound. It affects how you connect to the world around you. Conversations, music, your favorite TV shows, even safety when crossing the street or hearing the phone ring. But here's what's most important. Untreated hearing loss has been linked to a higher risk of cognitive decline. That's right. Your ears and your brain are connected. When your brain has to work harder to make sense of muffled or missing sounds, it uses up energy. It could be using for memory, focus, and thinking clearly. It's like trying to have a conversation in a noisy restaurant every single day. It's exhausting. Getting your hearing tested is quick and painless. It can be done in your doctor's office or at a hearing center. If your hearing's fine, great. If it's not, that's okay too, because now you know. And with the modern hearing aids available today, you'd be amazed at how discreet and effective they are. You might find yourself rejoining conversations you've been quietly avoiding, or catching lyrics in songs you haven't fully heard in years. It's not just about sound. It's about staying connected. And let's be honest, staying connected is one of the biggest challenges as we age. When people start to feel isolated, they stop doing the things that make life meaningful. But when your senses, your hearing, your vision, your awareness, are sharp, you can stay involved, stay curious, and stay active. These small tests are like tuning up a classic car. You're not changing who you are. You're just making sure everything runs smoothly for the road ahead. And while we're thinking about things that often go unnoticed, there's one more area that deserves attention, and that's your kidneys. Kidney health isn't something most people think about until something goes wrong. But kidneys are responsible for filtering waste, balancing your fluids, and keeping everything in your body working behind the scenes. As we get older, kidney function can quietly decline, and sometimes medications, dehydration, or even infections can make things worse without you knowing it. A simple blood test and urine test can give you a clear picture of how your kidneys are doing. It's not complicated. You don't need to fast or prepare. Your doctor probably already runs these tests during annual checkups, but you want to be sure they're checking your kidney function, not just cholesterol or sugar levels. If something is off, early changes in medication or diet can make a big difference. Now, I know we've covered a lot, but take a deep breath. This isn't about fear, it's about freedom. When you know where your health stands, you're in control. You're not waiting for a surprise diagnosis. You're being proactive. And that's one of the most powerful things you can do after 65, not just for yourself, but for the people who love you and depend on you. For the people who love you and depend on you. Because let's face it, your health isn't just about you. It's about being able to show up for the moments that matter, watching your grandkids grow, going on that vacation you've been planning, waking up with energy, not worry. Having peace of mind when you lay your head down at night, knowing you're doing what you can to protect your independence and your future. What makes all of this so doable is that none of these tests are complicated. They're not surgeries. They're not pills with side effects. They're simple, clear windows into your health, each one telling you something valuable about how your body's doing. And when you put them together, you get a powerful picture of your overall wellness. Blood pressure keeps you aware of your heart health. Bone density shows you how strong and steady your body still is. Cognitive screening gives you a check-in on your mind and memory. Colorectal cancer tests catch danger before it becomes disaster. Hearing checks keep you connected to the people and moments that make life rich. And kidney function tests let you catch silent changes before they turn into serious issues. You might not need every test every year. Some of these are just once every few years unless something changes. But knowing what to ask for, that's the magic. That's where the power comes in. Your doctor sees a lot of patients, and while they care, sometimes things slip through the cracks. But you're your own best advocate. When you go in for a checkup and say, "Hey, I want to make sure I'm getting a cognitive screening," or, "Could we check my kidney function this time?" You're putting your health in your hands, and you're doing it with confidence, not fear. Because you know this isn't about hunting for problems. It's about protecting the life you've worked so hard to build. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, "I've never had a bone scan," or "I haven't checked my hearing in years," that's okay. There's no shame in that. Today is not about guilt. It's about taking a single, empowering step forward. Maybe that step is calling your doctor and scheduling an appointment. Maybe it's writing down a few questions you want to ask next time you go in. Maybe it's even helping a spouse, a sibling, or a friend do the same. You'd be surprised how many people are just waiting for someone else to bring it up first. You could be that person, the one who says, "Let's take care of ourselves. We've got a lot of living left to do." And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? You're not just here to survive. You're here to thrive, to keep showing up for your life with energy, clarity, and strength. And the only way to do that is by checking in, tuning in, listening to your body, and giving it the attention it deserves. Because your health isn't something you hand off to someone else. It's a relationship, a partnership between you, your body, and the choices you make each day. These tests, they're just tools to help guide you in that partnership. Think of them as your health dashboard. They don't fix everything, but they let you know when to slow down, when to get help, and when everything is running just fine. And if all your results come back normal, that's fantastic. Now you get to breathe easy and enjoy life without second-guessing every little symptom. That peace of mind is worth everything. So I encourage you, don't wait until something goes wrong. Don't wait for a fall, a scare, or a sudden emergency. Take the step while you're steady on your feet, while you're still in charge. Because nothing says strength like a person who takes care of themselves, not out of fear, but out of self-respect and a love for life. If any part of this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Tell me, have you had your hearing checked recently? Or maybe you discovered something important through one of these tests? Sharing your story could give someone else the nudge they need to make that phone call or bring it up with their doctor. And if you found this video helpful, give it a like and consider subscribing. We've got plenty more conversations like this, practical, honest, and encouraging. Because growing older isn't about slowing down. It's about getting smarter about how we care for ourselves. Here's to living fully, staying sharp, and making the most of every single day. You've come this far, and there's so much more ahead. Let's take care of you so you can keep doing what you love. Take good care, and I'll see you in the next video.